Alderman Terrio.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to make a motion to make the school district department of the city replicating the language from 2001. That would entail sending this language, I guess, up to the state again for approval, and then bringing it back to put on the ballot in November. And
The
also a
first
public
step will be
hearing.
to go to the public hearing,
All right.
should this board want
And
to
then,
move forward.
so I have a second, and roll call.
Well, so discussion. So we have a first, a second, and discussion.
I didn't hear the motion.
He asked it
The
for you to read the motion.
The motion is to send the 4 amendments that I read aloud that were from the 2001, on the 2001 ballot, send that forward, initiate the process to start the public hearing, and then on to the state for
Can you
review.
walk through what the process would look like? So we go through
Yep.
the public hearing, and then what would occur after
So this
that?
will be posted publicly for 7 days and a legal notice prior to the public hearing. We'll hold a public hearing. The board will then decide at that time if they want to direct me to continue on the process, which will be to send it to the state for the 3 state agencies for review, Secretary of State, Department of Revenue Administration, and the Attorney General. They have 15 days to acknowledge receipt and 45 days to review, so that's 60 days. And then we come back, that'll be a meeting in September when that plays out potentially, and assuming it's all correct and fine with the state, the board would then vote to send it to the ballot.
What is your
for the
interpretation
November ballot.
of what occurred? Sorry, did you have something?
I just wanted one thing the board needs to be clear on the effective date of this. You have a proposed effective date on this for the fiscal year, the new fiscal year?
For when it becomes a department.
Correct.
I would assume
You want it during the fiscal year,
first,
the next fiscal year.
that would, okay, yeah, so the next fiscal year
Yeah.
would make the most sense. Thank
Oh.
you, Joe.
So can your interpretation of what that amendment does, of what those 4 amendments does? My understanding is that it's more cosmetic in nature, and it still references the school district as both a district and a department.
It does, I
And then
think.
it's more clarifying language.
Yeah, I mean, I think the beauty is in the eye of the beholder in this case, so it does allow the board to consider the district a department. What rights or additional authorities this board would have, I think are going to be determined through, I guess, the review from the state, A, and B, what I think they're going to be adjudicated on as case-by-case basis. The board will want to do something. I'm not an attorney, so probably the solicitor should be weighing in on this. But the board will take some action. It'll be up to the district to decide if they believe that that's what this charter amendment, if it passes, provides this board with authority.
What was that, Alderman?
We'll be fighting each other in court.
Solicitor?
Well, I think my my predecessor gave an opinion, I believe in 2002 or 2003, that the full effect of such an action would be essentially impossible to predict, and that as facts and circumstances arise, they'll be decided. But given the fact that this is coming from one of the 2 municipal corporations, obviously we can't presuppose what the other municipal corporation involved is going to think about any of these things on a case-by-case basis. So I think we're just going to have to see as things roll out.
Okay.
Maybe they'll just fight it before we even get it to the ballot.
And
Maybe they'll file an injunction.
doesn't something have to, how would that process work? Could they file an injunction? I mean, they can't really file, well, I don't know the process.
Well, I think one of the earlier cases, I think it was a declaratory judgment, one of the cases. So,
The vote. After the
correct.
vote by the
After the vote, correct.
Public vote.
Okay, further discussion? Alderman Sapienza?
So it sounds like we're setting up perpetual litigation. We can spend a whole bunch of money on all that. That's a good idea.
Alderman Morgan?
Thank you, Your Honor. So, what I don't understand is why we continually go down this path. We go down this path in the city. I mean, we can't bully the school district into do something. We're trying to work with some. Why can't we just all come together, find a solution, a practical solution? If it takes a little time, then so be it. But to just throw it at them and say, we're doing it this way, and then we're fighting, we know where this is all going. I mean, right? We're not all stupid here. So I just don't understand why we just don't, we're all smart people here. Let's just sit down, let's try and behind the scenes put it together, find a way, and if it takes a year or 2 or 3 and we get to that point, I mean, I understand the point of doing it, so I see both sides, but I just don't want to get into a fight. It makes no sense. I mean, I don't think the citizens want us to fight. I think they want us to get things done, and I think this is why we need to be in a position to work together on both sides. I just don't agree with bullying and putting this out there for that reason.
Alderman Cantor?
Yeah. Thank you. This is for full transparency and accountability, and the school district has steamrolled their phase 1 through. Now they want to steamroll their second one. This is very important that we bring this to the voters. We need to stop bullying us into, confusing us. It was a district before, it was a department before, let's go back to a department so we can be transparent and accountable for the citizens of Manchester. They deserve better. Never mind that the school district is actually the bully. They don't want to be transparent, and they're bullying us with the wheel of power and privilege. And I can remind you that I'm not on the privilege of this wheel. I'm actually in the middle somewhere. So I'm 100% seconding Alderman Terrio. Thank you very much. We need bold leadership from now on.
Yeah, I already asked for roll call.
Let's just do it.
Okay. Basically, we're not deciding, we're just allowing the voters of Manchester to decide. They approved it last time, and they'll have a chance again to vote, and I think they're going to approve it again, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, there is a roll call.
Alderman Terrio?
Yes?
Alderman Sapienza?
Yes.
Alderman Burkish?
No.
Alderman Berry?
No.
Alderman Vincent?
No.
Alderman Thomas? Alderman Morgan?
No.
Alderman Goonan?
No.
Alderman Long?
No.
Alderman Fajardo?
No.
Alderman Sapienza?
No.
Alderman Cantor?
Yes.
Alderman O'Neill?
No.
Alderman Lavasser?
Yeah.
Motion fails.